It's Super Bowl week here in the first round. That means three things: eating great food, making bets, and picking winners. Chris thinks I'm good at one of them. You're going to have to figure out which one it is. Look, in a world searching to be entertained and starving for intelligence, you found both of them right here. It's the first round, the place that helps you be smarter than your friends when it comes to sports. We're on the set tonight rolling dice for money.
You're tuned in to the hottest sports analysis of the week with your hosts Ron Dolbeck and Chris Roberts. And now, here's the first round.
It's Zach, it's Chris, it's me. We're talking about everything going on in the world of sports, and it's got to start in one place. Let's get it started with the biggest story going on this week. It's got to be one thing: Super Bowl 55. You've got team barbers getting COVID. You've got a Houston businessman, John McVale, making a $3.46 million bet and taking 3.5 points with Tampa Bay. And it's local city groups in Kansas City trying to outlaw the tomahawk chop. We're going to have opinions and thoughts on all those things, especially on what really matters and why we're doing this whole circus, which is Kansas City laying 3 points in Tampa Bay against the Bucs, which is the exact number they beat them by earlier this year. I think it's going to be a super interesting game. But what is Super Bowl without food, and what is Super Bowl without the second biggest thing, which is money, making bets? This is the biggest betting week of the year for Las Vegas. Chris and I are going to be making a lot of bets right here for real cash on the show tonight. Tons of prop bets out there. Other news coming out of the NFL: former Browns and Chargers head coach Marty Schottenheimer is moved into hospice. He's been suffering from Alzheimer's since 2014. He's 77 years old. Our hearts go out to him. Also, Super Bowl halftime show. When have we gotten away from having the iconic groups that had Lifetime Achievement Awards all over the place? This weekend, that's exactly who you get to see. The Weekend. I think it's slipped off. Is that the best they could do? Are you going for food, or are you watching the halftime show? We want your thoughts on that. NBA, Kevin Durant leads all NBA players with 2.4 million votes. Right behind him is LeBron. In the West, it's the Joker, Kawhi, and AD getting the most votes in the Western Conference right now. Chris and I will have our thoughts on our way too early MVP. Also, Philly leading the West at the East at 16-6. They're tops in the East right now. I think it's way too early, though, to give that too much credibility. Over in the West, white hot, lightning hot Utah Jazz. They're 16-5. Playoffs don't start for 5 months, so it's a little early, but Chris and I are going to talk about that a little bit. College football news. National Signing Day comes out. I'm trying to figure out who I think landed at number one. Well, it's got to be Alabama. They had 16 four-star commitments, and they had 7 five-star commitments. Just to put that in perspective, the second team that had the second most five-star commitments was Georgia, and most publications put them at having 3 or 4. Bama had twice that many, and they had 16 four-star commitments. The rich keep getting richer. Bama finishes at number 1. Ohio State, Georgia, LSU, and Clemson round out the top 5. Oregon, Florida, Texas A&M, USC, and Michigan also in the top 10. Bad recruiting classes: Auburn, Washington. How about Florida State? They only signed 17 players. None of them, no 5-star commitments. Chris, I'm sure, will have something to say about that. Also coming up at the back of the train is South Carolina. They lose Will Muschamp. He gets signed by Georgia. Their recruiting went absolutely in the tank. I don't know what they expect next year. Looking ahead to big games in next year, this is just a teaser because Chris and I are going to get into some of the bigger ones. How about September 4th, Bama and Miami? I'm going to take Bama in that one. Other games that'll be just as epic but far more close. How about Clemson in Charlotte going up against Georgia? September 11th, the Oregon Ducks finish top 5 in recruiting. They go to the Horseshoe in Columbus to take on Ohio State. LSU goes on the road to UCLA. Cincinnati and the Fighting Luke Fickinators, they're going to be at Touchdown Jesus taking on Notre Dame at the end of September. And BYU goes on the road to USC. Other big games, Chris and I are going to be getting into that. Major League Baseball news. Major League Baseball comes out this week and announces that players' salaries are down for the 3rd year in a row. Now, last year I can understand that with COVID. Average player is touted to make $1.5 million next year. This is not good news for the head and player rep of the Players Union, Tony Clark. I went to high school with him. Good guy. Also, in Major League Baseball news, former Cy Young winner Felix Hernandez has signed a minor league deal with the Baltimore Orioles. 1 year, $1 million. 35 years old. He has not pitched since 2019. Interesting thing about him, Chris, is in his prime, he was like lights out every single year in the offseason when you get hot stove talk coming. He was one of the guys that we were talking about most. If anybody could snatch him away from Seattle, nobody was ever able to. He never won a playoff game. I didn't know that. From 2009 until 2014, his ERA never went above 2.67. Now just think about that. That's a pretty amazing stat. 4 times in his career, he was under 2.75. And from 2009 until 2014, he registered over 200 strikeouts every year during that period. And he signed a minor league deal for $1 million. Long live the king. Exactly. So it's Super Bowl week. We're talking about everything going on in the world of sports, but we're going to start with the Super Bowl, Chris. And on a level of 1 to 100, 100 is you absolutely can't miss it. And you're not going to your mom's funeral, you're watching the game. This is how critical it is. Where's your barometer at on this Super Bowl?
This Super Bowl is interesting. With this one, I actually want to watch this game simply because you have the legend, Tom Brady.
Exactly.
And you have the quote-unquote, as the media put it, heir apparent with Pat Mahomes. And so this one, I actually want to see this one. It was interesting. We got a take of it earlier this season.
Right.
Where Pat Mahomes went crazy in the first half with over 200 yards passing.
Right.
So,
then Tampa Bay caught up, decided to start playing in the second half, made it a close game.
Right. So, I want to see if Tom Brady can actually put together a full, complete game going through on this playoff run.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. So I came up with 4 storylines that, depending on how you want to look at this Super Bowl, you could fit any one of these into what's going to happen this weekend. So I'm going to throw them at you and just get your input. It's the young upstart going for his second Super Bowl in a row, and it's a dynasty.
Yeah. If he wins it, it is a dynasty. Yeah.
How can it be a dynasty with only 2 Super Bowl wins?
The start of a dynasty. I mean,
Wait, okay, so start of a dynasty and it is a dynasty are two different things.
It's the start of a dynasty.
Okay, here's the second view. One last win for the old veteran and the GOAT.
It'd be a perfect way for him to go out.
But can you see him going out? He's like the second most competitive guy. I don't even know if he's more competitive than Michael Jordan. But if he wins this, he's got to be thinking to himself, I can win it next year. I just won it this year. I'm 43.
Well, again, this will be a great way to go out because there's a lot of free agents going to be coming up on this team.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the third way that I was looking at it. Patrick Mahomes loses. Did we overhype him too much and start the dynasty talk too soon if he loses this game?
No. He's losing to Tom Brady. So I wouldn't say it was overhyped. It's Tom Brady.
Did we start talking about dynasty too soon?
I don't think
so. If he loses this one?
I don't think so because this team is so young, and a lot of these guys are still on their first contract, their rookie contracts. Yeah. So they're going to be together for a while. So I don't think it's too soon to start that talk.
Okay, fourth one. Brady just ran out of gas and Father Time caught up to him.
Well, as the old adage goes, Father Time is undefeated. But I think with Brady, it's going to depend on Tampa Bay actually getting the running game started. So I'm looking for them to actually have Leonard Fournette to actually be one of the main contributors of this game.
Wow. I think they do have to get their running game going. I'll say this. At the beginning of the year, my main concern with Tampa Bay was their offensive line.
Yeah.
And they haven't been lights out, but they've been good enough. If he loses it, I'm going to start. I don't know. I think there's so much talent on this team. When you talk about bringing in Brown, when you talk about Evans and Godwin on the outside and bringing in Leonard Fournette, and I know they brought in Gronkowski, who I don't think's been, definitely not in his prime. But they brought in so much talent that I don't think the Super Bowl and Tampa Bay making it to the Super Bowl is about Tom Brady. I think it's about all the talent that they went out and acquired. And if he loses, I still think his arm is not as strong as it used to be. And I think that Father Time has kind of caught up to him, but this is the one last shot for him to have glory.
Yeah, and I can agree with you. I mean, if you go back and you look at a couple of those passes in the last game where he was throwing outside the numbers, that ball, it kind of flirted a little bit on him. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And when we go back to the beginning of the year, they went on the road to play New Orleans, I think in the first game of the year, and he threw, 3 interceptions just in that game.
Yeah, but with that, though, I think it came down to they hadn't completely ironed out their chemistry yet.
Yeah.
Because you had that play with Mike Evans where he went one way and Brady threw the ball the other way.
Yeah.
So I think that was just chemistry issues.
And you know what? This isn't sour grapes at all. They went on the road to Lambeau and beat a really, really, really good Green Bay team. So I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady or from Tampa Bay. I just don't think the whole story is Tom Brady. But the story tonight is money, because Chris and I were talking about all the prop bets. The craziest thing. What is the national anthem singer's hair color going to be? What is the color of the Gatorade that's going to get thrown on the winning coach going to be? Who is going to score first? Individual players. How many total sacks in the game? All these awesome prop bets. We're going to get into it right now. So here's how the format's going to work. I'm going to lay out a bet that for Chris and I. We're each going to take one side on that bet. And then we're going to roll the magic dice, and that's going to tell us how much that bet is going to be for. Now, we can roll it 2 times, but that might be a $66 bet. Or we could just stick to a 1 bet and keep it friendly the whole way. I'm guessing you're going to go with the friendly way?
Yeah, we're going to keep it friendly.
That's fine. We can keep it friendly. Okay, what prop bet is more money gambled on than any other in the Super Bowl?
Ooh. I would go with the points.
The point, what, over and under?
Over under.
Okay, so that's just a regular straight line bet.
Right.
But a prop bet is one of these exotics that's out there. Out of all the exotics, what do you think is the most gambled on prop bet in the Super Bowl?
Let's see. I would say something like let's say like the longest field goal or something like that.
That's
crazy.
actually one that you could get. It's 46.5 yards. Which is it going to be? The longest field is going to be longer than that or shorter than that? The longest one. But the most amount of money on a prop bet in the Super Bowl is heads or tails.
Oh, wow.
So you put up 105 on heads or tails. You put up 105, you'll win 100, or you lose your 105. That's the most one. And I actually did some research on this. There's a company that's actually here in Florida. It's in Melbourne. It's called Highland Mint. And they've made the Super Bowl coins for the past 25 years. Mm-hmm. And the Super Bowl is so tight with security with the coin. It has to be 0.33 millimeters thick, exactly, and it has to exactly weigh 1 ounce. And they check all this stuff with micrometers that measure down to the 10,000th of an inch electronically.
That's crazy.
To make sure it's exactly right, because they know people are going to be betting on this. And if the emblem for the Chiefs is a little bit heavier, then it might land down and people could make money. So it's the number one most money is bet on prop bets is on heads or tails. In 54 Super Bowls, has it come up more heads or more tails?
I say tails never fails.
That's exactly the gambler's motto. It is tails never fails. Heads has come up 25 times in 54 Super Bowls, so tails has narrowly edged it out. But tonight, you've got to pick heads or tails. Whatever you're taking, I'm going to go the other way with it, and we're going to roll to see who's going to be paying up on heads or tails. So I got Ron and Chris. Which one do you want, heads or tails?
I'm going with tails.
You're going with tails, and that is for $4. So Ron has heads, and you've got tails, and that is for a whopping $4. I'm not going to be getting my new Jag off of you if we keep rolling like this. Okay, let's go on to the next bet. Will Tony Romo, now I love Tony Romo with CBS.
Right.
And he has a massive propensity for looking at a play and saying, oh, yeah, I've seen this one before. This is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to bring Gronk out of the backfield, and he's going to get him on a fly pattern off to the left, and then it exactly happens. So this is all the bets that we're making on the show tonight are real Las Vegas bets that you can make. Real bets.
Right.
Okay. Will Tony Romo correctly predict an offensive play? Now, here's the odds, though. You got to put up 2 to win 1 if you say yes. If you say he's not going to, it's plus 150. So if it comes up $2, then you win 3.
Right.
But that's if you take no. So are you going yes or no on this one?
I'm going to say no. I think Kansas City and they haven't showed everything.
No. So your bet is that Tony Romo will not correctly predict an offensive play. Now, there could be a Tampa Bay play. It could be any offensive play.
I'm going to go no.
No. Okay. This is going to be for $5. $5 on that one. So if you win, you're getting $7.50. If you lose, you're losing $5. I'm just going to be the house on that one. Okay. Here's a good one. This is what I'm talking about with prop bets. Which will be mentioned first? Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl, or Tom Brady is 43 years old? Which one's going to get mentioned first?
Tom Brady in his 10th Super Bowl.
So you're going 10th Super Bowl. Okay. And that is going to be, I'm just going to be the house. That's going to be for $2. $2 there. Now, you can tell me on some of these if you want to be the house, and I'll make the pick on it. That's fine, too. Okay. You get to pick 2 players, and I'm going to pick 2 players. You get 1 from each team. Okay. What individual player, so we're not going with Brady or Mahomes, what individual player scores a touchdown first? And if you want to pick a kicker, you could pick a kicker. But you get 1 player from each side. So I'm going with Kelsey and Godwin as my 2 players. So who's yours?
I'm going with Hill and let's see.
Fournette? Pick the kicker. Zach says you should go with Evans.
I'm going to go with the field goal kicker. Tampa Bay's field goal kicker.
Okay, I'm putting down field goal.
Yeah, field goal.
All right, that's going to be for $3. This is these. I'm not used to this. I'm used to double digit. I had $100 on Green Bay.
Really?
That's all I'm going to say.
Yay.
I'm not getting into the emotion of it. Team that scores first. You can be the house, or you can pick, and I'll be the house.
I'll be the house on that one.
You'll be the house?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to go with KC, and you're the house.
Yep.
And that is going to be for $1? $1 on that one. I don't even know if it's worth it to keep that statistic. Okay, this is the one we were talking about before the show. Longest field goal, 46.5 yards. Is the longest field goal going to be more than that, less than that? Do you want to pick, or do you want to be the house?
I will pick.
Okay, you're picking. Go ahead.
And I think it's going to be longer than 46 yards.
Okay, you're going to go longer. Please, I do not want this to be $1. We need to start doing double-digit bets on this. $5. All right, you got $5 that it's going to be longer than 46.5. I'm hoping they don't make a field goal the whole game now. Extra points don't count. Okay, Tom Brady pass attempts, not completions. Tom Brady pass attempts. You can be the house, or you can pick, and the number to beat is 44.5 completions, or pass attempts. Sorry, 44.5 pass attempts. You want to be the house, or you want to pick?
I'll be the house.
Okay, then I'm going to say, wow, 44. That's a high number. I'm going to go lower than 44.5. If he hits 44, I win. If it goes to 45, I lose. I'm going lower. And this is for $5. Now we're starting to talk. Let's get the $5 and $6 bets going. Okay, Tyreek Hill, the next prop bet. Tyreek Hill, longest reception, over and under is 26.5 yards. So you want to be the house, or do you want to make the pick on that?
I'll make the pick on that one.
Okay, so I'm going to be the house. And 26.5 yards. His longest reception, Zach's giving me the thumbs up. He's going over that. Now, I'm going to hope he breaks his leg in the first half and he has no receptions.
He's going over. I say he's going over that.
He's going over 26. You're going over.
Yes.
Okay, over 26.5. That's for $4. Can you see the dice here?
No.
You're just trusting me. Hold on. We're going to do Tariq Hill. That one's for $35. So we'll put 35 down. You didn't ask me what I'm drinking on the set time. I'm drinking Hurricane Mix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've kind of moved off limoncello a little, even though I still love it. But, yeah, I'm going with Hurricane Mix tonight. Total touchdowns in the game. House or pick, and the number to beat is 6.5. Is there going to be more than that, less than that, or you're going to wimp out and you're going to say you'll be the house?
No, I think it's going to be.
You're going to pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go with 8 touchdowns.
You're going to say over 6.5.
Over 6.5.
Okay, you're going over. So they have to be 7 touchdowns in the game for you to win.
Yeah.
Okay, this is for $5. Let me know if you ever want to go double digits because we could do that. Okay, longest field goal, we covered that, right?
Yep.
All right, total sacks in the game, 4. House, pick.
Well, I'm picking more than 4.
More than 4 sacks.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ron's the house. Chris is taking the pick, and you say over.
Yes.
Over 4. So it's got to be 5 sacks for you to win. And that's for $4. No. Zach is like, no. They're not. I don't know. Tom Brady's 43. Yeah. Okay, $4. Okay. Will there be a score in the last 2 minutes of the first half? So from the 2-minute warning before halftime, will there be a score, yes or no? You want to be the house on that one, or you want to pick?
I'll say yes. Yeah, I'll pick.
Okay, so you're going, yes, there's going to be a score.
Yes.
Okay, and that's another $4 one. All right. Which team leads at the end of the first quarter? It's a 50-50.
I'll say Kansas City.
So you're going with Kansas City. You're going to pick.
Yes.
KC is going to be leading at the end of the first quarter, and that's for $4. Okay, I got rigged. My dice are rigged tonight. All right, which team leads at halftime? Pick, house, what?
What was that? Going at the end of second half?
No, going into halftime, which team is leading?
Kansas City.
Kansas City. So you're going KC.
Yes.
You're starting to tip your hand on who you're going with in the game. KC, and that is going to be for $5. I love the bigger numbers. Okay, one of the more interesting ones. Mm-hmm. Ready?
Ready.
National anthem. How long will it last? Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a cheat sheet with some facts. Past national anthem performers at the Super Bowl, Jewel went 77 seconds, 1 minute and 17 seconds.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys went 2 minutes and 35 seconds. She stretched that stuff out like Bazooka Bubblegum, man. That was a long one. I think she has the longest national anthem in Super Bowl history. So Eric Church and Jasmine Sullivan are going to do the national anthem.
Ooh.
And I have no idea. Are they up there right there? I don't know who these people are. But they're singing the national anthem. Again, the talent is going like this. Halftime show. The Weeknd is good. He's got 2 songs, though. It's not like it's the Beatles.
Oh, Jasmine Sullivan, great vocalist.
Okay.
A lot of riffs. I'm going to go with this is going to be a little.
So the over and under is 1 minute and 53 seconds. So are you going to house it or pick?
I'm going to pick.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's going to be over 1 minute and 53. You have 2 singers, and she has a lot of riffs and stuff in it. So
okay, it's got to go 1 minute and 54 for you to win.
Yeah.
Okay. $5. I'm getting closer to my new Jag F-type with all your picks. Which player? So they're going to play the national anthem. Mm-hmm. But as they're playing the national anthem, they're going to be scanning the crowd. They're going to be scanning the coaches, and they're going to be scanning players.
Right.
Out of these 2 players, which one are they going to put up first? Brady or Mahomes? Again, these are real bets that you can make in Las Vegas. During the national anthem, who will you see first? Mahomes or Brady? Do you want to pick or do you want to be the house?
I'll pick, and I think they're going to go with the home team, so I'll say Brady.
You're going to go with Brady. I would have gone with Brady also. And your bet is for $2. I'm going to lose $2 on that one. Okay. the second most gambled prop bet when it comes to the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, what will be the color of the Gatorade that is splashed on the winning coach? This is a real bet that you can make in Las Vegas. The Gatorade shower. Now, I'm going to go with orange. You can pick any color you want except orange now. Any color. So blue, pink, black.
Nah.
You could go with black.
No, I've never seen a black Gatorade. But,
That's the whole point right there.
yeah,
That's
I've
the
never
point.
seen that black Gatorade. But I'm going to go with, you say orange. I say it'll be green.
Green. Okay, you're going with green. And then it's got to hit one of those for either of us to win. And that one is for $1 on green. There's no way it's going to be green, but it's for $1. I think we have to, if it's closer to orange than it is to green, then I'm going to win that dollar. Okay, last prop bet between you and I on the show tonight.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of commercials. Usually they're really good. There's pizza commercials. There's beer commercials. The Budweiser ones are usually really good.
Right.
And there's chip commercials.
Right.
What is going to be, you got to tell me the name brand, Pringles, Lay's, whatever, Cheez-It. What chip brand will have the first commercial in the Super Bowl 55?
Chip brand, I'm going to say it has to be Lay's.
Lay's. Okay, you're going with Lay's. I would have gone with Doritos, but I'm the house, so that is going to be $3 bet. Goodness, we've got to raise the stakes here, man. We got to have I should have put together a lot better stuff here. $3. Okay. Those are all our prop bets. Those are in place. We will find out which of us is going to have some small amount of money. But we want to thank almost 5,000 subscribers. I checked this morning. I don't check very often, but we had over 4,800 subscribers and 12,000 views last week. Thank you so much. If you want to be a part of the show, I'm going to tell you how you can do that in 1 second. But we want to thank all of our subscribers. Hit the subscription button right now. Hit the notification button. Every week when we put out brand new shows, YouTube will let you know that we have new material out, and you can join the First Round family. And you say, Ron, I want to join the family. I don't know how I can be a part of the show. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. You can email into the show or comment right down here below us. Email in the show at thefirstraundrd@gmail.com. Get you in. Make a comment down below. We'll read those on the air. We're going to read some of them right now. And you can also follow us on Twitter at The First Round and then the number 1. And I'm trying to figure out how to get my computer to go. And you can be a part of the show that way. One. Got it. And there we go. So now I can read some of the emails. Let's check in last week. Rashay Caldwell, 81. Pats finally get what they deserve. No playoffs. Who's Chris's NFL team? He never reps anybody on the show. Go G-Men. So obviously he's a New York Giant fan. I don't know if he wants he's bragging about it out loud, but you can get your man card taken away for that. So Chris, he says, you never rep anybody on the show.
Well, my guy, I'm an Atlanta Falcons guy. I will rep some Atlanta Falcons gear just to let you know.
Okay, Patrick Sully writes in and says, with the Super Bowl coming up, what are you and Chris's thoughts on players kneeling during the national anthem? I'm sure there will be some talk about this as it gets closer to the game. I got some pretty strong thoughts on it, Chris, but I'll let you.
I think if they kneel for this game, now it's
kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know what to say. I mean, if they're going to do it, that's their prerogative. I mean, the league hasn't put a stop to it, so I mean, there's nothing more I can say about it.
But do you believe that they should be protesting the national anthem based on social issues? Should they be kneeling?
From my perspective, I mean, yes. I mean, they should. They can. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, you know, we talk about kneeling for the anthem,
right?
But I mean, here, I mean, we celebrate people like Jackie Robinson, who says he can't stand for the national anthem. So if he feels that same way and he's celebrated, what's the difference between these guys kneeling for what they feel is right?
So I'm going to take a little different position. I don't remember any NFL guys running into either of those towers on 9/11. And I think that a lot of Americans that have different religions, they're different races, they come from different cultures, they're all from different age brackets that have served this country and died for the flag, for our freedom. You don't protest them. So I think that you stand and you respect the flag and you respect the national anthem. You take America good, bad, or indifferent. Now, is there stuff that's got to change? Should we all be equal? Absolutely. And the other way to look at it is more of a business way of looking at it. Like, I don't walk into my job and use that as a platform to say, okay, I'm clocked in and I'm getting paid, but I want to take the first minute and 53 seconds of that national anthem to protest something at my job. These athletes all have Periscope, Twitter, all these different handles, and if they want to protest and march peacefully or get on their social media platforms and talk about things that absolutely have to change, if it's terms of social inequalities or whatever they're behind, I'm for that, but I'm not going to be for kneeling during the national anthem because too many good Americans, regardless of their color, where they came from, their culture, their age, their sexual orientation, their religion, have died for the freedom that I have. And that's a chance for us to honor them and not kneel. That was a really good question, Patrick. Go ahead.
I want to rebut you on that,
too.
But at the same time, I mean, these guys that are kneeling, their grandfathers fought in the same wars as World War II.
Right.
And World War I, World War II. Black people has fought in every single war that America's had.
Right.
At the time when these guys, when their grandfathers or great-grandfathers came back from these same wars, they were not recognized as humans. As a matter of fact, these same soldiers who just came from those wars were actually asked to take their American patches off their shoulders. Which
I'm going to say is absolutely not right.
Before they walked off of that boat coming back home.
Right, and that's not right.
And so these same players are protesting the same thing that their grandfathers and great-grandfathers are protesting.
But I don't think you protest the flag.
But this is where you know where we're going to differ on this opinion with that is because even though you're saying not to protest this flag, at the same time, African Americans feel like that flag doesn't represent African Americans simply because of the fact that we fought in wars.
Right.
We basically helped build the economy that America, to make America the America that everybody know and love.
And I completely agree with that.
But at the same time, we're not treated as equals.
I'm completely agree with you 100%.
And so the fact that they're protesting the flag and they're having those same issues that they've been protesting now for almost over 100 years.
Right.
I mean, you have to understand that black people didn't really get their complete freedom until 50 years ago when they were able to vote.
And sometimes we're not just talking about African Americans, though. There's people all throughout the social spectrum that aren't being treated fair.
But this is in regards to African Americans because those are the ones that are protesting.
And that's fine. We can have a healthy, robust discussion about it and not agree. That's fine.
Right.
We just have two different points of view.
Right.
I think everything should be racially equal, socially equal. And what's you and I have a saying on the show. Treat every single person that we meet with what?
With respect. And
dignity and respect.
Right.
And when those things haven't happened, it's not right. I just don't think that that's the platform to do it in.
But this is the whole thing about a protest. It's about making things that uncomfortable so people can actually see it. I can put anything I want on Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, or whatever. I could march, do whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's on a stage like that, that's what the reason they're doing it is because it's grabbing attention.
I understand that. We're gonna have a different point of view on it. Another email coming in from Boston 305. You both wear a lot of gear on the show. Who's got more lids, Chris or Ron? I don't know. I think you probably have more lids and more shoes. You know, the minute I thought I was starting to get my shoe collection going this last year, Chris sent me a picture of at least, I don't know, 60 pairs of shoes. And I just kind of went back into my dark little corner thinking that I was great. So lids, I don't know. I've got a pretty good lid collection. We switch it up a lot on the show with our lids. But yours, you probably have more lids than me and shoes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch it up so you guys can see just how many lids I have.
Yeah, no, you switch it up pretty good. Tommy Luttrell from Las Vegas writes in, LL Cool J is on point. That's the one I wore on the last show. But Bills beating KC, I don't think so. Keep up the most unboring show. Thank you to all the people that wrote in this week. And you can do the same thing. We gave out the email address. If you miss any part of this show, check us out on YouTube. We have all of our videos archived there. Let's move along to the NBA, one of your favorite subjects, not one of mine, and talk about our way too early MVP discussion and how we think that the different teams around the leagues are doing. Right now, I've got 3 people that I would consider for it: Durant, LeBron James, and Steph Curry. I think it's got to go to Durant. He's a 7-footer. He can hit it from the outside. He's great defensively. He's better. All their numbers are pretty close, except for free throw shooting and 3-point shooting. Durant beats both of them. All 3 are putting up great numbers. Right now, I'd have to give it to Durant if I'm going way too early MVP in the NBA.
My way too early MVP, I got the Joker.
Whoa, Djokovic.
Yes, I have Luka Doncic and I have LeBron James.
Whoa, wait, you got LeBron over Durant?
Yes, sir.
Wow, see, this is what happens when you don't take all your smart pills before the show. You say something like that. You got Durant is you would
put it this way.
You don't even have Durant in your top 3. He's averaging 31 points, 37 minutes, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 87% from the free throw line, and 45% from the 3-point line.
You take LeBron from the Lakers.
Right.
They're not making the playoffs.
They got AD. They got a good core around him.
When was the last time AD carried the team to the playoffs by himself?
It's not by himself though, because the Nets have other players. They've got Harden. They've got Kyrie.
That's my point.
But LeBron James has the second best player, the third best player, top 5 player in the league. AD's not a joke.
And you have a top 5 point guard. I mean, you have James Harden.
Right. No defense, all offense.
But he's like the best scorer in the league.
But how do you not have Kevin Durant in your top 3?
Right. Because, I mean, if you
Wait, you'd rather have Joker right now if you're starting a team than Kevin Durant?
I mean, I'm looking at
No, you didn't.
No, Ron. What I'm looking at is if you take those players from those teams,
right?
If you take Joker from Denver,
right?
What does Denver have outside of Joker?
I think they have a young. They've got Murray.
Do they make it to the playoffs?
Yeah, I still think they make it to the playoffs. Teams that are almost have a 500 record make it to the playoffs.
You take Luka Doncic away from Dallas.
Right.
What do you have in Dallas?
You have an 8th seed.
Okay. So if you take Joker,
they still have Porzingis.
You take Joker away, you have like a 7 seed.
I think he's one of the top 10 best players, but putting him in 1, 2, or 3 above Durant?
Yeah.
No way.
Their seasons right now, I mean, Joker is basically almost averaging a triple-double. The same thing with Luka Doncic right now. They're averaging almost a triple-double.
I love Luka Doncic. It's not that I don't like those guys. I just think that right now the MVP of the league is Kevin Durant. Let's talk about some teams that are doing really good and teams that aren't doing good. What happened to the Miami Heat? They had such a great season. They go into the bubble. They make it to the NBA Finals. Hero, Butler, Bam, they were all blowing up, and it was like, oh, wow, this is the new team in the East that everybody's going to have to deal with. They're 7-14 right now, Chris. How is that happening? And I need my Hurricane.
Well, I mean, it's like a typical Miami team. They start off slow. I mean, they didn't have the best record going into the bubble.
7-14. They look terrible right now. They've played 21 games. They've only won a third of them.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think Jimmy Butler's been injured through some of those games as well. So Miami right now is going through a rough patch. I think they get it together, and by the end of the season, Miami will be, I say, like a 5 seed. Okay,
let's talk about another team that I think is really dropping the ball that I had a lot of promise for. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. And, again, they have tons of talent. They've got Ingram. They've got Zion. They've got, a good core down there, core team. And it just hasn't come together. They're 8-14 right now. I picked them to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the West. Should I be concerned?
Yeah, you should be concerned. I mean, because when you mix up the chemistry and you take away a Drew Holiday, and I mean, yeah, you replaced him or whatnot, but when you take away a guy like Drew Holiday, who was a great perimeter defender, he's pretty.
But they
good
picked up Eric Bledsoe, who's a solid player.
Eric Bledsoe is okay, but he's not Drew Holiday.
Okay, if I'm looking for them to take that next step this year, it looks like it's not going to happen. So I should just throw out my ticket.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and throw that ticket out.
Wow, I know they're in the toughest conference. I'll tell that. Let's finish off with college football news. Some of the big games coming up that we can look forward to in September. Just give me quick numbers: 1 to 10. 10, you absolutely have to see it. 0, you'd rather snort anthrax with wasabi. Bama taking on Miami in Atlanta September 4th.
I say I give that like a 4.
Oh, I'm giving it more than that. Manny Diaz is under a lot of heat, and he's got to turn that around. How about this one? This is my number one game to watch next year. Clemson in Charlotte against Georgia and the Bulldogs. Georgia is going to come in ranked in the top 5. Clemson should be ranked in the top 5. Sophomore quarterback. No more Travis Etienne, and your boy Sunshine is off to the NFL.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one. Like an 8. I actually want to see what Clemson can actually do.
Yeah, I'm giving that one like a 9. Oregon, Ohio State. Oregon Ducks going to be ranked in the top 10. They got to go on the road to the shoe. No Justin Fields. Can Ryan Day reload that quickly?
I think Ryan Day reloads. I think they have a quarterback in their queue waiting right now, and I say with that one, I give it a 9. I actually want to see what Ohio State.
You want to see Ducks, Ohio State more than Clemson, Georgia?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's go rapid fire on your numbers. Notre Dame goes on the road to Camp Randall to take on the Badgers in Wisconsin.
3.
3. I'm actually interested in that one. How about Cincinnati has to go to Touchdown Jesus to play Notre Dame October 2nd?
Actually, I want to see that one, so I give that like a 7.
Okay. Oklahoma State goes to play on the Blue Smurf turf up in Boise State.
That's like a 3.
And LSU goes out to try to put the last nail in the coffin of Chip Kelly at UCLA in the Rose Bowl.
I'll give that like a 3.
I'm giving that one about a 5. BYU goes on the road to take on Clay Helton and the Fighting USC Trojans in the Coliseum. BYU at USC.
0. I don't care about that.
0?
I don't care about that game.
I'm at least giving that one a 3. Chris, what else is going on in the world of sports?
Well, I mean, we have owners in the NFL that's really decided to be in a giving mood. Arthur Blank cuts a check for the Civil and Human Rights Museum in Atlanta for $17 million. But, this is not the only time that Arthur Blank is actually giving that money. He actually gave $3 million to actually start it. So in total, he gave $20 million. Good looking out, Arthur Blank.
You're standing up for your Atlanta team, but you don't want to talk about the Super Bowl a couple years ago, which was awesome. All I got to say is 28-3. That music can mean only one thing. It's time to thank our support staff. The man on the board, Zach. Moving on. He's only got a new house. He's getting married. He's going to school. He's working, and he's here on the show producing it every single week. So kudos to him. He's going to be with the show in some other capacities for us, but he's going to be moving on. We're going to have a brand new producer. We want to thank him for everything he's done. The man on my left is Chris Roberts. El Presidente Chet 40 for all of us here at the first round on Super Bowl Sunday week. We want to say thank you for watching. Hit the subscription button. Hit the notification button. Leave a comment below or a question. We'll get to it on the air, and we will be right back here, hopefully next week or in 2 weeks in our brand new studios. Until then, take care of yourselves, everybody.